Hello, dear friends. It's Dr. Sarah. All disease is linked to the gut. That was a big claim, and I think I did a pretty good job supporting that in our last video about the crucial role of the gut in relationship to our overall wellness. See, our intestinal tract not only aids digestion, assimilation, absorption of nutrients, and elimination, most of the features many people associate with our digestive tract, but the gastrointestinal tube is also home to a large proportion of trillions of microbes that are in our body. This collection of microorganisms is known as the gut microbiome. Now, technically, the microbiome is the sum of all the genomes of the different microbiota. But all technicality aside, these belly bugs are the major regulators of how our digestive system influences our overall physiology and psychology in a big way. So, last time we talked about essential oils as a key way to support a healthy gut and to also support these little teeny inhabitants that we have in house in our bellies. Now, I want to continue discussing this crucial role of the gut. And I want to review some of the major biochemical properties of essential oils that we went through last time, because I want to build upon some of the specifics, key areas where essential oils shine for digestive function. And to me, that means how they support our microbiome, how they handle stress or help us cope with stress in the body, in the gut, and in the mind, and also how they are vagus nerve modulators. So they help us with that rest and digest portion of our autonomic nervous system, which helps us calm. And that is also very important for stimulating digestive processes and making sure we get the most out of what we put in our mouth and how we defend against the outside world. So, as a quick review, I'm going to go over some of the things we discussed last time, but if you missed the full video and want to get more of the details, there will be links in the resource section at the end of the accompanying article. And in the accompanying article will be links to all of the study references that I refer to during this video. So let's go ahead and get started and talk about the vital role of the gut and the gut microbiome in our health. As a quick review, as I've already stated, the digestive tract affects our general health in a variety of ways. And this is through its communication with our brain through the gut-brain axis. And also there's a connection to many other organ systems with the gut. Besides its role in digestion, some of its other functions include aiding in the elimination of toxins and excess hormones, housing most of our immune cells, and producing neurochemicals, which affect our physiology systemically. Now, the microbes that I talked about in our intestinal tract, those are the main managers of our crucial digestive functions. Researchers are still uncovering all the way that these microbes actually interact to affect our overall wellness, resiliency, disease processes, and health. But some of the known vital areas that the microbiome regulates include digestion itself, our immune function. So these little microbes interplay with our immune cells and also produce their own immune signaling compounds. They help with hormone balance and excretion. Our microbiome is very intricately related to our brain health, and this is through the production of neurotransmitters that are produced right in our bellies, as well as different neurochemicals, different neurotransmitters. Our microbiome is important for our intestinal integrity because they help our body maintain these short chain fatty acids. Now, short chain fatty acids are breakdown products of fibers that our gut itself can't break down without the help of our little critters. They also are important for cognitive health as well, and they have some various other functions. And then in general, through the production of B vitamins and vitamin K and other different processes, our microbiome affects us systemically because these are very important for overall enzymatic properties that fuel our body. So that's an overview of the importance of our digestive system as well as the microbiome and the belly bugs within our gut and how that influences our health. Now, last time we also talked about how essential oils can support some of these key functions by their very properties as well. So, essential oils aid with immune balance, they aid with detoxification, they help protect cellular and mitochondrial health. So, when our body is under stress, whether it be from a physical invader or a toxin, or whether it be from an emotional component that can cause cellular stress, essential oils act as antioxidants. Essential oils help to preserve cognitive function. They're actually neuroprotective. They selectively inhibit pathogens. They help with neurotransmitter balance. They support digestion and the microbiome. They help to balance stress, cortisol, hormones, and blood sugar, and they enhance vagal tone. So, all of these different properties are going to optimize digestive function and support our microbiome. So, let's focus in on some of those key areas. So, one of the main topics in wellness and in health today is the microbiome. So remember, these little critters that inhabit our gut, as well as other parts of our body, inside and outside, have been found to influence our physical and emotional health in many important ways. And when we first discovered the microbiome, many scientists had come to realize that they've been too focused on pathogens and not enough focus on these, what they call commensal bacteria, that actually aid our health. So, as a result, conventional physicians started to question the use of things such as antibiotics and medications that can influence negatively our microbiome. They are not selective inhibitors. They tend to inadvertently wipe out all bugs, including some of our helpful ones. Now, many integrative doctors have taken this reasoning to say that natural modalities and herbs and essential oils potentially have the same effect of wiping out our gut microbiome, especially if used long term. Now, this form of dysbiosis or imbalance in microbiota has not been proven with herbs or with essential oils. In fact, most of the animal studies that I've seen and a few human trials in vitro or petri dish studies have shown that essential oils only benefit the microbiome. Now, these are not long term, but months and weeks. And what they found is that essential oils actually support commensal bacteria. They do wipe out pathogens while building up gastrointestinal health. In fact, some animal studies even say that essential oils helped with intestinal permeability and upregulated glutathione, which is a master antioxidant. So not only were they inhibiting bad bugs, they were supporting good bugs, helping our intestinal tract and helping defend against cellular stress. So all of these different characteristics make them not something that can be compared to by, say, something synthetic as an antibiotic. They aren't just one chemical construct made in a lab, and they have all different effects that synergize with our body biochemistry. I did a whole solo-sode episode on the essential oil revolution that I co-hosted on essential oils in the microbiome, and I go through various different research on these specifics. So if you want to hear the research and you want more information other than the just overview that they likely do not with the information we have right now and the research we have right now, they only help the microbiome. There will be links in the accompanying post on how to access that podcast as well as some of the detailed show notes. So that's essential oils in the microbiome. And as far as I'm concerned, they get an A+ in helping out our gut with that. Now, what about stress in our guts and essential oils? Well, most people, when they think about stress and they think about essential oils, the two go hand in hand. But how does stress itself impact our guts? Let's talk about that a little bit first. So, in order to have healthy digestion, absorption, assimilation of different nutrients and removal of different substances, the body needs to be calm. It needs to be in a parasympathetic state, this rest and digest state. If one is chronically wired, the bowels and liver can become stagnant. You've probably experienced constipation when you're stressed, right? Most people have, or maybe it goes the other way. Regardless, it can lead to impaired elimination. It can prevent toxins from leaving the body, and it can result in reabsorption of harmful substances and more complications. So this relationship between stress and digestive tract is actually bidirectional. So emotional and physical stressors can alter GI function, and an imbalance in the GI tract can cause stress and cause emotional upset. And then you create this perpetual forward feeding sick cycle, right? So our enteric nervous system, which is the second brain residing in our intestines, connects directly to our cranial brain. And this gut-brain communication through the metabolites produced by those microbiota I talked about travel through this vagus nerve. And this means that the alterations in the gut impacts the brain function and overall physiology. The influence of stress specifically on digestion is explained through yet another axis called the stress gut axis. And changes related to the stress and how it affects the gut include things such as altering GI motility, digestive and hormonal secretions, contributing to different pain sensations or altering them. It can actually alter our microbe population, leading to less health promoting bugs and more of those pathogens. And it can alter intestinal lining integrity. So, long term stress, by the way that it impacts all of this, can lead to negative gut and systemic immunity, the microbiome changes, and intestinal permeability, which is leaky gut, which can cause a whole other array of symptoms because now your defense in the gut is down. You got more pathogens entering, more systemic release of things you don't want into the systemic circulation, causing a whole array of different imbalances in the body. So we have to address stress if we're going to expect to have a healthy GI tract or just health in general. This is where essential oils shine, right? When most people think of relaxation, they think of essential oils. And this is for good reason. I also went through this in another video blog that I'll link to on 5 ways essential oils calm our brains and support our healthy detoxification. So I reviewed their stress reducing mechanisms there, but this also applies to our digestive tract. They help to regulate the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. So at the level of the brain and the way that our body helps secrete different stress producing hormones, essential oils intercept there and help with our body hormonal and stress hormone balance. They help to buffer stress at the level of perception. So they actually stop stress where it starts. When we breathe in essential oil, our whole body can calm down. They help to balance our hormones. They help to lower cortisol. And this is separate, or this is in conjunction with regulating the HPA axis. And they also stimulate the vagus nerve. So if you want more information on that and some of the biochemistry, be sure to check out the link in the previous video blog. But let's talk a little bit about this vagus nerve because that is yet another hot topic in the wellness sphere. And besides stopping stress directly in its tracks with how we perceive things, this is probably one of the most popular ways essential oils can assist us with stress. So when we talk about the rest and digest state, it's influenced by this vagus nerve, which is our 10th cranius nerve. And that impacts our autonomic nervous system, specifically this parasympathetic nervous system state. Now, conversely, when we think about the sympathetic nervous system, that's responsible for the fight and flee response. That's what keeps us alive when we're under danger, and it helps us to defend against potential threats. When we stimulate the vagus nerve, which kind of sounds counterintuitive, right? Because we want to calm things down, but you actually need to stimulate the vagus nerve to help it perform its subconscious functions more optimally. So one of the subconscious functions is digestion and assimilation. Essential oils are actually vagal nerve modulators. They act to balance our physiology, psychology, and biochemistry. 3 of my favorites are lavender, bergamot, and ylang ylang. The reason why they're my favorites is because research actually shows that they do have an influence on our parasympathetic nervous state. They calm the body down. They've been shown to influence blood pressure and heart rate variability in several clinical human trials. Another blend that I like to use in my naturopathic practice based on more clinical experience is called the parasympathetic blend, which is a combination of clove and distilled lime. It can be applied to the vagus nerve located just behind the earlobe on the mastoid bone. And I usually have my clients to use the parasympathetic blend prior to meals. So this puts them in a state of rest and digest, and then they have optimal digestion. So If we want to look at all of the different ways essential oils support digestive health, we want to look at the fact that that helps us through their various biological properties. They help to balance our microbiome, support our emotional health, and calm stress. Specific essential oils can help us calm down by stimulating the vagus nerve and turning on our parasympathetic nervous system. These include lavender, bergamot, ylang ylang, and what I've seen is the parasympathetic blend. So that's a summary of what we've talked about so far. I hope now that you see how critical your digestive tract is for your overall health and how essential oils can support your belly for better functioning in life and mind-body resiliency. In the next video, what I want to do is actually get a little more practical with you and talk about some of my top essential oils that I use in my practice as a naturopathic and functional medicine practitioner to help my clients with their digestive system that I've seen in my practice over the 20 plus years. So make sure you stay tuned for that and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. And also, guys, if you can help me out, subscribing to the channel will bring more eyes to the channel. And this will help to bring the information of evidence-based essential oils into the public and help our clinicians to understand the use and incorporation of essential oils more into their practice, which is one major mission of mine. And if you're an essential oil and watching this channel, probably is of yours too. Okay, have a beautiful day. Thank you for taking the time to nourish your mind, body, heart, and soul and intellect with some information on digestion and essential oils. I will be back with you real soon, sending blessings and gentle care.